Hey everyone, this is smpratte, and today we're going to talk about the 25th anniversary. We just received one of the most exciting updates, I think, in the history of Pokemon. It really cannot be overstated. What we're going to get in October, I think, is what a lot of people wanted for a very long time. So in this video, I'm going to do more of a news update, talk about the product and what to expect. And I'm actually going to do a separate video where we do like more of a deep dive into the market analytics and compare like 25th to 20th anniversary. So if you missed it, in case you missed it, basically there's going to be a reprint from like the original era until now. You're going to get a little bit of everything. Where in the past there was a lot of focus on like the original 150 Kanto era, where you still have that. You're definitely getting base Charizard and Venusaur for all the Venusaur collectors out there. But you're getting like a Gold Star Umbreon, stuff from Heart Gold, Soul Silver. The reimagined like work of the Neo Destiny in the new era is just like 11 out of 10. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. So this is the release we deserved, the release that everybody wanted. It looks like it's going to be very exciting. Also, I like the execution of everything. You get the same art from back in the day, but they put a stamp on there just to show a difference between the two. You know, they did that with the 20th anniversary. This is that deck from back then, which has the same old school original Japanese base set design, except like ×3. Like, this thing is jumbo to hold all the stonks inside of it. But they also throw that stamp on there so you know for sure that it's from the 20th anniversary. So I think they did a good job with that. You have this unique design for like the light Pokemon variants, but also you have like the old school one-to-one reprints with that little stamp on both of them. I think it's just fantastic. You really have to be a hardcore cynic to find something that you dislike about this release so far, because I think there's something for everyone. So some of the things I wanted to talk about to get a little bit deeper into, this information. A lot of people are concerned with the reprints. I think mainly newer people are concerned with the reprints. So I wanted to talk about that in this video. I think it was a good opportunity to bring in other hobbies where reprints have existed before and in larger doses than they do in Pokemon. Pokemon really doesn't have that many reprints when you think about it. If you go to pretty much every other hobby, sports, non-sports, Magic especially, you have reprint on redesign on whatever. You have a lot of re's like Control-C, Control-V, like everywhere. Where in Pokemon, you don't really have that much. So this is uncharted territory for especially newer collectors. Outside of like evolutions and those flash in the pan sets, you don't see it too often. So the number one question people have, what's it going to do to the originals? I think that's like its own topic. What's it going to do to the original cards? And if history repeats itself, and there's a lot of history of this, it really doesn't do anything. In fact, what it typically does is migrates people into the original. So for example, if we time travel back to 2016 when Evolutions dropped, what that Charizard did in Evolutions is I think it brought people back into the game, and a lot of people were like, whoa, Base Unlimited is not really that much more expensive, so I'm going to go get that one. Or they might even went deeper and then went to the final level and beat the Elite Four and found Mewtwo in the cave and got first edition Charizard. I think that's what it did at the end of the day. I think it's more of a vehicle. It can be its own card, and it could also be, something that people want to fill out their set as a cheaper option. But ultimately, I think that vehicle element of like it brings people in and they're like, whoa, maybe I'll go for this one. Or maybe the Umbreon Gold Star is a little bit too far apart. But for a lot of the other ones, I think people will just be like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go get the original now. But either way, there's definitely no correlation in relation to a reprint bringing the price down. And if we really want to go into like Magic the Gathering, if you look at something like Birds has been reprinted how many times? Like Birds of Paradise, like it started in alpha, like how many Birds cards are there now? Like, it's ridiculous. How many Nightmare? Nightmare's another one. I remember showing my brother like some of the alpha purchases I did. He's like, man, Nightmare has been printed so many times, and was it due to the original alpha price? Literally nothing. Like, it doesn't affect it whatsoever. And that might not be the best example because some of those have like different arts, but the bottom line is that even the ones that do, like the recent, was it From the Vault or whatever Magic's doing now, that one Birds of Paradise is like a 1-to-1 art-wise. It's not going to affect the original alpha because that is still the original. So that's what I would expect, and I think most season collectors are on the same page. Reprints are usually just another option. That's the best way to think of it. I'd even throw an smpratte at you that I remember I used back in the day for Evolutions. Reprints have a half-life. They don't typically last as long or go as deep or worth as much as the original, because if you think about it, if it gets close to that price, like Base Unlimited Charizard did this for a while, when you had Evolution's Charizard creeping up, especially in the beginning, if the original Charizard is the same price, you're going to go for the original. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Or even if it's like a negligible percentage difference, just paying a little bit more for the original makes sense. So that's what you always have. Reprints just typically have a half-life. Some other ideas I want to talk about in relation to this news that we received is that demand has shifted. A lot of people were talking about the WotC cooldown, which again, that'll be a separate video. I'll go into great detail about what's going on with the current market in relation to demand shifting for vintage and things like that in a separate video. And I always do that in Patreon every month if that's something you want all the time. But as for the demand shifting for Modern, there is so much more excitement and people just talking about Modern now than ever. Like, I cannot tell you how just dog water Modern was in 2016 and 17. Like, after Evolutions, it was just nothing. Like, nothing. Like, it might as well have been one of those, like, obscure TCGs that, like, tries to hype itself off the back of Pokemon. Like, it was nothing. Nothing was going on. So right now in Modern, there are so many people, so much new demand, so many people excited about everything, like whether it's Modern English, Japanese. The full arts alone and the variety we're getting now in Modern are just phenomenal. So there's a huge demand shift for that. I think a good data point to understand what I mean is that once this was announced for the 20th anniversary in Japan, they had lines for pre-ordering packs. Like, we're talking about pre-orders for packs. Like, this is like practice of practice. Like, I don't even know how to like articulate how crazy that is. People are lining up for packs that aren't coming out for months. Like, not even the boxes, just the packs. That's where we are right now. And that's what I mean about the demand shifting. Some people are still going for WotC, whatever it is. You always have that large pool of people. These markets are so established that the ebb and flow of what's going on, the up and down of prices, it's because there is an actual market there. But what I mean about demand shifting is that there is so much more demand, new demand, transitional demand in relation to Modern, especially for exciting releases. We saw with Eevee Heroes, when Eevee Heroes came out, people were talking about it. Why? Because it's exciting. It is just like a bug light for demand. Like, you throw great art into a set and we all just we lose our minds. And that's what's going on with the 25th anniversary. You have another solid execution. Pokemon is more aware. That's another idea I wanted to throw out there as well. Pokemon is much more aware of, I think, what their customers want these days. If we go back to when Modern was just stagnant, like in 2017, they didn't know what was going on. They had businesses telling them, hey, we need more products. So they just they hit the fill all button. Like, they hit select all and just tidal wave of product that just killed the market. And they didn't change any design. They didn't do anything really unique. Outside of Japan, who's always steady, running at the same pace, Modern sets at that time were just very, very boring. There's just no other way to say it. There's no way to repackage that. Like, I can't gift wrap it to you and tell you that Modern was exciting, because it just wasn't. It was a low time. Where now it's the opposite. It's so much more exciting. We don't have enough supply to meet demand. And that's because, again, you have people that just naturally gravitate towards good design, which comes from Pokemon being more aware of their customer base. Like, if you had to tell Pokemon back in the day to not do another 5-band full art, they don't even understand what that means. Like, first of all, they probably don't know who 5-band is. They're like, yeah, whatever, we just wrote some contract, and they're gonna just keep, just pooping out those full arts as long as they want, which don't want to hate too much on 5-band. I like some of the full arts, but it was just nonstop, and we got the never-ending Lisa Frank hyper rares to this day, but the saving grace of the secret rare diversity, bringing in new artists, letting Kirasaki doing full arts, Komiya do full arts, that's what people wanted for a long time. And what's the result of that? More demand. There's a lot of organic demand right now. You have that fundamental of fun. These sets are not Crimson Invasion. They're not. I can't even think of a Crimson Invasion equivalent right now in the Modern era. I don't even think we're that low. We can't even see that far down, because we're so high up right now, because again, Pokemon is more aware. They're doing more collaboration, more focus, more celebrity integration. They're really doing a lot of things that even in 20th anniversary they weren't doing at this level, and definitely before that. Before 20th anniversary, none of this stuff existed. So again, this is an exciting time. This news is a fantastic update. It cannot be overstated how they knocked it out of the park. I really just cannot think of anything to criticize. Even the other releases, like the stamp promos that are coming out in Japan. it's like Scream tier level. It's like Mario Pikachu level. Like, the stamp promos are phenomenal. They look fantastic. And what's the result of that? They're already super allocated before they're even released. Like, people, they've already limited it, which I'll talk about this in detail on Patreon, but they've already limited how much they're going to give out, how it's going to be awarded. You know, there's murmurs and rumors of lottery releases. The other one, what's it called? Nagaba, is that how you pronounce it? The like hand-drawn, kind of crudely drawn Pikachu. Another example of all this collaboration, Pokemon just being more nimble, being more aware of their customer base, and just taking more risks. Like, they're just trying things, and so far it's been working really well. So that's what we have for the 25th anniversary. Just a quick recap. Pretty much a reprint of everything. Also, like, the reimagined art is just it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, that one with like the 3 oddists sitting there, the light Pokemon, it's unreal. Like, it makes me want to collect Pokemon that I don't even know the name of, that I don't even care about, that I'm not nostalgic for, because that's how good the concept is. So that's what I have, guys. You know the deal. Let me know if I'm going to do the separate video where I talk about the market analytics right after this one. I'll probably put up a week later, try to get up back to back so we can do a nice smooth segue into the next video. So I'll go into a deep dive about 20th anniversary versus 25th, do like all the market analytics and all that. So there it is. That's what we can expect for 25th anniversary. As usual, hope this is entertaining and useful. You know the deal. Let me know how I feel. That's pretty much it, guys. Till next time.